Subject pronouns. Proper verb conjugation requires an understanding of subject pronouns and how they're used. Subject pronouns are words that take the place of subject nouns. Geir is Norwegian. He lives in Trondheim. In the preceding example, the pronoun he replaces the name Geir in order to avoid repetition. Table 1 shows the most common Italian subject pronouns and their corresponding English subject pronouns. Table 1. Italian and English subject pronouns. Person, first person, second person, third person, singular. Italian, io, tu, lei, lui. English, I, you, informal, you, formal, she, he. Plural, Italian, noi, you, very formal, loro, English, we, you, they. In English, subject pronouns are always used with verb forms. For example, I go, you have. The verb form itself, go, does not identify the subject. It could be I go, you go, we go, or they go, just as it could be I have, you have, we have, or they have. Unlike English, in Italian, the verb ending is different for each person in the majority of verb tenses, so the verb ending itself identifies the subject. For this reason, subject pronouns are superfluous, and they are normally omitted when the verb is expressed. Vado a Roma. I go to Rome. Vai a Roma. You go to Rome. In the preceding examples, the pronoun vado includes the information that the subject is I. Understanding which subject pronoun is needed, whether or not you choose to use it, enables you to correctly conjugate a verb in any tense. Note the following about the use of subject pronouns and their corresponding verb forms. Note that io, I, is not capitalized unless it begins a sentence. In case of coordinated subjects, if a third person is conjoined with io or noi, the noi form of the verb must be used as in the last example below. Io abito a Firenze. E tu? I live in Florence. What about you? Noi abitiamo a New York. We live in New York. Io e Carlo abitiamo a Roma. Carlo and I live in Rome. When speaking to someone, there are 4 ways to express the English you, according to how many people are being addressed and the level of formality. When addressing one person, use tu and or its corresponding verb form in an informal setting, including relatives, friends, fellow students, children, and people with whom you have a first-name basis. For example, tu sei fantastico. You are terrific. Lei, in a formal situation for a person, male or female, you do not know well, or a person to whom you wish to show respect. The corresponding verb form for polite form, lei, is the third person singular, lei, the same as she. Lei means therefore both you, formal, male or female, and she. In writing, the polite form, lei, is often capitalized in order to distinguish it from lei, she. Marta, anche tu studi l'italiano? Marta, do you study Italian too? Signora Rossi, anche lei studia l'italiano? Mrs. Rosie, do you study Italian too? Signor Rossi, anche lei studia l'italiano. Anche lei studia l'italiano. She, too, studies Italian. When addressing 2 or more people, use voi, both in formal and informal situations. Che cosa prendete, voi? What are you having? The use of loro to address 2 or more people in a formal way is restricted to extremely formal situations and is rarely used today. Lui and lei mean he and she, respectively. In formal literary language, the forms egli, he, and ella, she, can be used. The subject pronoun it and the plural form, they, when the reference is to animal and inanimate things, is usually not stated in Italian. È vero, it is true. I quadri di Marcia sono bellissimi. Marcia's paintings, they're beautiful. The basics on verbs. In Italian, most verb forms have the following basic structure: root plus grammatical ending. Except in some irregular verbs, the root, or stem, generally does not change and expresses the meaning of the verb. The ending, added to the infinitive stem, conveys important information including person, who or what is doing the action, mood, the attitude or disposition of the speaker toward the sentence, time, when the action takes place. For example, canto, I sing, consists of the root cant, which conveys the meaning sing, and the ending o, which expresses present tense I form. Therefore, canto means I sing, present tense, I form. In the dictionary, you'll find the verb listed under its infinitive form. In English, the infinitive consists of to plus verb, for example, to speak or to talk. In Italian, the infinitive form is one word consisting of stem plus infinitive ending. Italian regular verbs are divided into 3 groups according to the ending of the infinitive form. These groups are also called first, second, and third conjugation. The infinitive regular endings are are, ere, and ire, as shown in Table 2. Table 2. The Italian regular infinitive. Infinitive, parlare, to talk, vedere, to see, dormire, to sleep. Stem or root, parl, ved, dorm. Infinitive ending, are, ere, ire. Conjugation, first, second, third. Therefore, the infinitive indicates to which group the verb belongs. By dropping the infinitive ending, you have the root of the verb. Why is it so important to know which group a verb belongs? Because each group has its own set of endings that are added to the root and vary according to the subject, the tense, and the mood. Therefore, if you memorize the pattern of the are group, you know the pattern for every regular verb within that group. Parlare, to talk, cantare, to sing, abitare, to live, and so on. The great majority of are verbs are regular. The first step in mastering Italian verbs is to become familiar with the regular endings. To help you out, the endings of 4 regular verbs are highlighted in bold in order to facilitate their identification. The model verbs are parlare, credere, finire, and partire. Irregular verbs are called irregular because they don't follow the pattern of the conjugation to which they belong, or because they have a change in the stem. Minor spelling changes don't make a verb irregular. For example, verbs belonging to the are group that end in gare, gare, or iare undergo internal spelling changes in certain tenses to preserve the hard or soft sound of the conjugated verb form. C/G plus a, o, u, hard sound, as in cat, golf. C/G plus I/E, soft sound, as in George, cello. There are no spelling changes in the second and third group. You should memorize the irregular verbs. Only 4 are verbs and their compounds are irregular. They are andare, dare, fare, and stare. The majority of irregular verbs belong to the ere group. Some verbs are irregular in only some tenses, and there are families of irregularities. When it is possible, a pattern of irregularity will be provided in order to facilitate the acquisition of the irregular forms.